All right, move to retire from executive session.
Second.
Mrs. Washington?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes. Can you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Mrs. Washington?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes, first up, Community Planning Month. I don't know who's got this, but have at it.
Paul.
October is Community Planning Month. This has been designated in part by the American Planning Association, which is the national organization that supports planning, not only here, but internationally. And we wanted to take this opportunity to thank the trustees for their support in the planning that we do in the township and the support that you've always given us. Some examples of some planning that we have done this past year: we completed our comprehensive plan, which was adopted by the trustees. This is a 20-year plan, but it's updated every 5 years, so our comprehensive plan has been recently updated. We recently adopted an art plan for the township, which is guiding public art in the township for years to come. As well as we're working on our Transportation Advisory Committee. Our Transportation Advisory Committee is working on our Trails Plan update. So all of these are just examples of the township being proactive in planning, and we want to take this opportunity to recognize that and to thank you all for your support of that, and just raise awareness on the importance of planning for the township. You have to have a plan in place to understand where the residents want us to go, and have a clear vision so we can have a united vision on where we go with the township. So we just wanted to bring that to your attention, that this is Planning Month, National Planning Month, and again, thank you for your support.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you for all you do, all of you.
All your planners, yes, we appreciate that. And we do get a lot of, I do, a lot of compliments on our
Yes.
planning department. People say, I went in, they were very helpful, and that's always good to hear, so thank you.
If I may add, one of the things that the planning is not new. It's been going on in this township for decades, and this board has continued that tradition. The building that we're sitting in, all of the private investment that's happened in this area is because of planning efforts. And, with a lot of our employees, first responders, get a lot of credit, which they rightfully deserve, absolutely. But I don't think that the general public understands the importance of planning, not only from transportation, from community planning, from quality of life. All of that plays a role in making Anderson what it is. And along with the staff efforts and the board's support of those planning efforts, we also have the public support, because you all come out when we have steering teams or we have open houses for different plans, and you give us your opinion, and that's what matters.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vicki. All right, at this time, we set aside for public forum. If anyone would like to address this board, they may do so at this time. Go for it.
Hi.
I didn't plan to talk tonight.
That's okay.
There's not a lot of people here. I guess I have some concerns about the...
Could you state your name and your address, please?
Yeah, sure. It's Ronald Keller, 7150 Ragland Road, number 14.
Great.
My wife and I had an opportunity to move here back in 2004. It's a great area, great neighborhood schools, right? Great part of town. We didn't move here for the architecture on Beachmont Avenue. We moved here because it's a great place to raise our kids. I do have some concerns related to the planning on Anderson's property and the plans for Anderson property that keep being recycled every 3 to 4 or 5 years. And it seems like there's a lot of rumors going around that I really haven't heard since I moved here, but all of a sudden they've exploded related to, what's going on, what the plans are. I know you guys say that there's nothing going on at the township level, but on some level, you have to plan for that property, or there may be plans for that property. And I know I have 3 minutes, but I think you guys need to be open, honest, right? There doesn't need to be agendas, hidden agendas or open agendas, right? People need to know what's going on. Because when we keep recycling that site, and I remember before it was, let's maybe consolidate the grade schools. Well, now it's always the high school, right? Does that create trust? No, it creates uncertainty, right? You guys are here to keep the trust of the community and avoid an uncertainty. And I think that's been shattered in the past probably 2 to 3 months, right? So I hope you guys can stay open related to all this. I understand the township wants a hotel. I understand the township wants to keep developing, but I think we got to keep our students first, the staff at the schools first, and the teachers. I'm sorry, the parents. And I understand there's people in the community that maybe can't afford all this. Maybe there's better options, but at least be open about it and transparent about it from the township level and the school level. So I plead, please be open. Right? There's all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm not on social media. I don't care about all that stuff. But I keep hearing stuff from people I respect in the community. And it's sad that there's all this stuff bouncing around for everybody, right? You guys, the school board, the parents, and most of all the students. The students have been through what? COVID. They've been through building renovations. So please keep them in mind first and only at the start of everything you start to think about related to Anderson. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I can't believe it.
I got thoughts, but I think you're going to address that one. So I'll wait for trustee comment.
All right. We'll close the public forum session. Trustee comments. Dee, Lexi, anything to add?
Well, I got a couple things to talk about, and I appreciate your comments. And I just will say, talk to the school board. So, and if you, if you are reading the papers or listening to yesterday's school board meeting, I think they talked about a lot of what was going on. I would suggest you go back and watch that meeting, because I think they did explain a lot in that meeting last night. So, today, Lexi, Josh, and I had a chance to go down to Beach Acres. Beach Acres, as many of you know, is moving. They're leaving the township after 73 years, and it was very nice. We heard some very heartfelt stories of people who have gone through Beach Acres, grew up there. When back in the day, and, people recently who used the services, and it was very, very moving. It was so, they do very good work, and they've been a nice asset to this community, and they will be missed. So I just want to, and Josh gave a great speech and got a standing ovation.
He did.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just want to say that. And secondly, the Anderson Senior Center, one of the gems of this community. We're having an open house on November 5th, Saturday, November 5th. Andrew, we'd love to have you there at the Anderson Senior Center. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And if you are ever interested in what goes on at the Senior Center, we're really promoting, active healthy aging, or healthy active aging, one or the other. And there's a lot of activities and a lot of, just nice way to hang out with your peers. So, and if you're over 50, you can go to the Senior Center. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Dee. I'm going to stop in.
Should.
Yeah, and thank you for your comments. I want to thank Vicki as well for, as you can see, the letter to the community that was posted on 9/27. Thank you. And as far as, transparency, I'll just reiterate that is our role. And everything is public. Our meetings, our agendas,
And any work that's going to be done, it's going to be done as a board, and there's going to be a record of that. So, you're welcome to come to any meeting, our smaller workshop meetings, because that's where the work is done, and it's public work. So, and that's really all that I had. And also, I'm excited for Halloween. I know it's going to be freezing because it always is. And it's on Halloween, trick or treat, this year again. So, thanks all for coming to the meeting tonight. That's all.
Thanks, Lexi. Dee. Mr. Keller, we cannot be any more open and honest than we've been. The stuff that you're hearing about the trustees or what we know is all rumors and hearsay. We don't know anything. We've had meetings with the potential developer person, whoever is, but that's it. He has laid out his idea. We have not heard anything in months. We have not had any meetings with the school district, the school board, or any of their administration. We do not know what's going on. Do we want a hotel? Yes, we absolutely want a hotel. We've commissioned a study. We want a hotel. We've never discussed it on the site of Anderson High School. The Inquirer and WLWT recently put out reports, and they were absolutely erroneous and terrible because they painted a picture that we are somehow in cahoots with the school district and that we know a bunch of stuff. So you know what happens? And thank God you're not on social media, because what happens is that it goes in these little Facebook groups and it starts spreading like wildfire. And unfortunately, I am on social media and I try and defend it, and then I get myself in trouble because people think I'm being ridiculous when I call them out for insinuating that we are doing something wrong. We are not. And if we were, we would have been caught by now on the tons of public records requests that we've received. So I appreciate you being here and saying what you said, but we are not in charge of the plans at the school district. And I know they've got a lot of things on their plate, and they got a lot of decisions to make, and they are facing a big financial problem. Well, we're all facing it. We all live in Anderson Township. We're all facing it, and I wish them nothing but the best. And if and when they do come to us and ask us for help or our guidance or whatever else, we're going to try and give it to them. But so far, that has not happened. That's all I got. We'll move on. Ken, you're up.
Financial reports, the revenues in all funds are slightly above what we had estimated. They will stay that way until the end of the year because most of those revenues are in. On the expenditure side, our service areas, fire and rescue, public works, sheriff, zoning are all slightly under the estimates of expenditures. It's the areas of TIF funds, TIF projects that are under budget, significantly under budget. That they might come in that way at the end of the year. Those projects still are on the books to be done, and we might have to convert them over into 2023. So as far as the total expenditure compared to what we estimated, they're way under, but they will either pick up by the end of the year or we will carry those over into next year, projects that have to be done.
Okay.
I do have one appropriation change that needs to be made. It's in our bond anticipation notes, we had a charge of $5,000 that was not calculated in the amount that we requested. We requested $50,000 be appropriated, or we requested $45,000 be appropriated, and the total amount was $50,000. So we would need to increase that by $5,000 to make that payment in December.
Okay. I move to adopt the appropriation changes as presented by the fiscal office.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Hurth?
Yes.
I do have one additional comment. We just have been going through a conversion of our payroll system. We went to a new system, Paycor. We've been working on that for the last 3 months. The fiscal office, the administration, department heads, I can't think of anybody in this room that wasn't involved in trying to learn what we had to do. We finally went live last week. I would say I've been through a lot of conversions in my life. It went very smoothly. We did have a couple glitches, which we pointed out. We've had meetings since. We're trying to straighten out a couple things that we felt went wrong. And there were misinterpretations on our side with Paycor. We've got those cleared up, and we have been, especially with the fire department, we met with the chief today, and I think we're going to work out minor details that can be corrected. There are things that cannot be, they can be corrected. So hopefully the next payroll is going to be next week, and we're going to work on it to smoothen it out. So it was very successful. But I have to thank my fiscal office, Jennifer and Michelle, administration, Vicki, Suzanne, anybody, and all the department heads sitting over there. They went beyond the call of duty to make this thing work, and it's going to work. Just maybe a couple more payrolls. So thank you all.
Thanks, Mr. Dietz.
Thanks, Ken.
If I might, just add on that, for the record, the principal bond payment that I think Ken is referring to actually relates to the 2019 recreation bonds as opposed to bond anticipation notes. Yeah, okay, good. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Margaret, you're still up.
Yes, in your packet, you have a report regarding credit card management, if you will, compliance with the credit card account policy that you all adopted in November of 2021. And there's a resolution in the package accepting that report, which I've provided as the credit card compliance officer designated by you under the statute, which is 505.64 for those who want to see it. That statute requires that there be a process in place, which is why you adopted and revised your credit card policy. So basically it requires that I and the board every 6 months review certain aspects of credit card accounts on behalf of the township, which we have done and which are enumerated in the report attached to the resolution. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
No. I move to adopt a resolution accepting the report of the law director as compliance officer provided pursuant to the Anderson Township credit card account policy, November 18th, 2021.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Margaret.
That's all I have.
Okay. Paul?
So we had one nuisance item for your consideration tonight. And I'll bring up a picture. This property we've been working with for about a month now. It was brought to our attention by a neighbor. The owner is deceased. The property is located at 7081 Salem Road. We were able to contact the deceased owner's father, who is part of the trust and is responsible for the property. We're bringing it to you tonight. He has started making progress just this week. We had already sent a couple of notices, and we're getting ready to start our third notice. Our goal, there's multiple issues with the property. There's property maintenance issues. There's this junk boat in the backyard, and there was tall grass. He has mowed the grass in the front. You can see how tall the grass was in the back, or still is in the back. So we're requesting your consideration for nuisance. We will hold off since he is starting to make progress, but we wanted to at least get the grass mowed before the winter to get it all knocked down. So if he doesn't continue to mow the grass in the backyard, then we'll pursue. But we would like for you to consider passing the resolution tonight for tall grass only, and then we'll continue working with him on the other issues of the property.
Is the grass tall in the front too, or is this just the back?
He did mow the front yard this week,
Okay.
so we're hopeful that he will
Well, it
continue.
looks like you couldn't, is the boat leaving, or
Well,
is that a boat?
That is a boat, but I put up this picture just to give you an idea of how tall the grass actually was. It hasn't been mowed all summer.
Oh, okay, okay.
Where is this on?
This is on Salem. It's close to Dunn,
Oh,
kind
it
of where
is.
Salem and Dunn
Oh,
come
yeah, yeah,
together.
Okay.
We have a motion.
Okay, I move to adopt the resolution determining existence of nuisance on land owned by Clint Kahn, AKA Clint J. Kahn, and Clinton J. Kahn, or the estate of Clinton J. Kahn, or Raymond A. Kahn, trustee of the Clinton J. Trust, located at 7080 Salem Road in Anderson Township, and providing for notice and remediation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 505.87.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Lieutenant McElroy. Hey, Dan.
Good
Hello.
evening.
I'm here to reference a liquor license request for Sizzling Walk located at 8257 Beachmont Avenue. I spoke with the owner, Jeffrey Wong. During COVID and during the pandemic, they let the liquor license lapse. They had to change their hours. They're looking to get back in the swing of thing and get back to normal hours and normal operation. So nothing else is changing. Same food, same service, just adding the liquor license back. And I have no objection.
Okay. I move not to object to a new liquor license request for Long Holding LLC, DBA Sizzling Walk, located at 8257 Beachmont Avenue.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great egg rolls. Yeah. You should be.
Hello there.
Good evening. How are you? First thing I have this evening is the 2022 Hamilton County Snowplow Rodeo. On Wednesday, September 14th, 2022, the Public Works Department participated in the 2022 Hamilton County Snowplow Rodeo. The purpose of this training is to get everybody going and geared up for this winter, gets everybody in a truck, and kind of gets them a little bit of training and gets them back in the seat and ready. So Rob Graves, Shelley Hobbs, Keith Heilman, and myself were all judges at the event. Jamie Bender, Harley Cruey, Ryan Gorth, Corey Price, Jared Holman, and Adam Weigel competed against a little over 40 other drivers from the other townships. Participants were judged in two different areas. There's like a pre-trip, like you would check your truck when you come in before you would head out. Then there's a driving course that they go out on. So I'd like to thank you for letting us attend that. The guys did a great job there. And adding on to this, 3 weeks after the Hamilton County Rodeo every year, the Public Works of Southwest Ohio has another training event up in Mason, which is another rodeo. And they invite the top 2 scoring individuals from each municipality to come up and train in that event. Harley Cruey and Adam Weigel participated in that, and Harley Cruey won that event this year for
Nice.
Public Works of Southwest Ohio.
There we go.
So,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Congratulations to him. He did a very good job. He had a
Did
great
he
day.
get a trophy?
Plaque. They give everybody a plaque, the top 5. So, yeah, he did a great job. So thanks for letting us go to those training events. Next up, we have a resolution declaring emergency snow removal on unaccepted roads. So I'm presenting before you this evening the resolution declaring necessity for snow removal on streets that were not yet accepted or otherwise dedicated by the board for the board's consideration. If the contractors, developers, or homeowners associations are not meeting their obligations to remove the snow, the resolution, if adopted, would give the Township Public Works Department the right to go in, remove the snow, clear the roads for safety services or whoever, and then bill the contractors for the cost. So that's before you this evening.
Okay, thank you. I move to adopt the resolution declaring an emergency for snow removal on unaccepted roads.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the temporary seasonal workers. And as the board is aware, in November of 2009, several staff recommendations were made years ago for temporary seasonal winter help in public works. This was based upon the need to fill vacancies that were created due to retirements in the Public Works Department as we entered into the 2010 snow season. We have since then followed the same pattern for the last 11 years, which enabled us to ramp up the public works staffing seasonally as needed, thereby minimizing costs for public works. At this time, I would like to request the hiring of a temporary seasonal employees. If approved, these employees will have an employment starting date January 1st, 2023, and are eligible to work through the year to December 31st of 2023. Their rate of pay will be the temporary seasonal employees will be the equivalent of the starting pay for a road maintenance worker one set forth in the road maintenance collective bargaining agreement, and will not exceed $40,000 in aggregate for the 2023 year. And that's before you this evening.
I move to authorize an amount not to exceed $40,000 from the Road and Bridge Fund for seasonal temporary employees for the Public Works Department from January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Gerth?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Hello, Chief.
Good evening. The first thing I'd like to do is just take a few seconds to thank everybody that participated in the Emergency Services Day recently. We had amazing weather. Turnout was great. It was nice to finally get back after 2 years of not being able to do it. I think we probably gave out somewhere between 250, 300 hot dogs. The place was packed. We had a live fire, exercise. We had kids across the bays and adults doing CPR, so it was a great event. Just want to thank the public, the sheriff's office, and especially Children's Hospital that came out and assisted with it. So this evening, what I have before you is a resolution. We continuously have problems getting advanced cardiac life support, ACLS, basic life support, which is BLS, and PALS, which is pediatric advanced life support. These are typically given to us. We have to sign up through the hospitals. They're having staffing problems. They've recently canceled some of our planned events. We typically in the past have had to pay, because it's a requirement of our firefighter paramedics jobs, to pay overtime for them to attend these classes. So what we'd like to do is enter into a contract with RQI. They give us the equipment, and instead of one ACLS class every 2 years or one BLS, we do it in quarters throughout the year, so we have better retention. We can train the paramedics on duty, so we save money there. And we make sure that it's more directed at paramedics in the street. Most ACLS and BLS include nurses and doctors, so there's tests, questions that don't really apply to them. This all focuses on exactly what paramedics do, and it promotes our team system. We have a full arrest. Everybody has a position. It focuses around that approach to addressing a cardiac event as opposed to maybe in a hospital. So we have a resolution for your consideration tonight to enter the RQI training program and for execution by the township of that contract.
And they'll come to you, and they have all the mannequins, they've got all the equipment, so we wouldn't have to really have any of that at all.
No, well, part of this program is them supplying us, like there's little pucks like for CPR to make sure you're in the right depth and things like that. We get that, but they will come out and teach us how to do that. And most of this is online. And one of the things this does facilitate is we hope the public will start utilizing this. It's a new thing where you can, for CPR, you can do part of the training online at home, and you only come in and do a very small part, the actual hands-on, in the station. So instead of spending 4 or 5 hours, this program will help facilitate us doing that short and condensed version of CPR. You still learn how to do it, but it doesn't take as much time for the individual to learn how to do the CPR. That's just one facet of this program.
So would we be able to offer that to residents, that they could come in and do that?
Yes. We have the regular Saturdays, but that's a longer class.
Right.
We're looking for the version just to
Yeah, 'cause it would just be the
facilitate
skills
it, getting it
checkoff.
out there.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
Great.
Thank you. I move to authorize the purchase of RQI training services and the execution and delivery of a master services agreement in connection therewith.
Second.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Gerth?
Yes.
and that's all for the fire department. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks, Chief.
you.
Vicki?
Yes, we have 2 items this evening, the first of which is a request to purchase a color copier in the amount of $6,000, plus there is a charge per impression, whether that's color or black and white. This copier would be located at Station 6, which is our Beachmont Avenue Fire Station, and it will replace both a black and white copier and a color copier that are in excess of 9 years old.
I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of copier equipment and certain managed print and maintenance services.
Second.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Gerth?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item, as the board is aware, the state law requires that elected officials and certain of township staff have to be bonded. For example, Mr. Lugenbuehl, zoning inspector, Mr. Drury, they have to be bonded, and others as well. And we do have those bonds in place and have always had those bonds in place. Last year, the Ohio General Assembly offered an alternative to jurisdictions where you can, instead of bonding, get an employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty coverage through our insurance carrier. Ms. Parker and I have worked with OTARMA, which is the Ohio Township Risk Management Agency, our insurance carrier, and they recommend that the property, this additional protection, this performance of duty coverage, would provide the township with additional protection from financial or property loss, additional protection over and above what a surety bond currently provides. The protection for all of the elected officials and for all of the staff that need to be acquired would be $660 per year in total. So it's not $660 per person, it's total coverage. So at this point, we would ask that the board consider authorizing the purchase of that policy.
I move to adopt the resolution authorizing the purchase and use of an employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty policy.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Gerth?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all we have this evening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Anything else? Okay. Our next meeting in this room will be November 17th at 5:30. And with that, I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Gerth?
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, everyone.
Thanks. You're always looking.
Well, you left my screen dark the whole darn meeting. I didn't turn my own screen on.
I wasn't taking care of you. Oh, Dee, I got your pen. You did it. Don't hold him in. You know I'm not scared of any coughing. Do you take allergy medicine every day? What?